Yeah, Neil Ratner Rock Doc here with a story. I gotta let my cat out. Come on, Shroomy, go. Neil Ratner Rock Doc here with a story. Hello, hello. Sorry about that. Typical. Your animals always want to leave at the wrong time, or they want to come at the wrong time. All right. Let's try that again. Yeah, all right. Neil Ratner Rock Doc here with a story. Okay, animals, you know how it goes. Okay, so today would have been the 74th birthday of Jamaican musician, singer, and songwriter Bob Marley. Now, you may only think of him as an artist who introduced us to reggae music, but Bob's influence on global culture went much farther than that. And today, in honor of what would have been his birthday, I thought I'd tell you a few things about Marley that you might not know. All right. But as usual, a little background first. Okay, so Bob's father, Norval Marley, was a white Jamaican, originally from Sussex, England, whose family came from Syrian Jewish origins, while his mother, Cedelia, came from Jamaica. Now, his father was a captain in the Royal Navy who Bob rarely saw. And when his parents broke up, his mother moved the family to the Kingston, Jamaican slum of Trenchtown. Now, in Kingston, Bob Marley was known by the natives as a white boy due to his mixed race origins, which was clearly visible to them in his facial skin. Now, this made Bob feel very alienated, but in reality, it forced him to build up his confidence and self-esteem. Now, very early on, Bob befriended and played music with Neville Livingston, later known as Bunny Wailer. Now, Bob's mother had married Bunny's father, and they were all living in a house in Trenchtown, which proved very fortuitous for Bob, since Bunny's father had a radio, and they could listen to R&B from the States, as well as the latest local ska music. Now, it wasn't long before Marley found himself in a group with Bunny Wailer, Peter Tosh, Junior Brathwaite, Beverly Kelso, and Cherry Smith, which eventually morphed into the Wailers. Now, by 1964, the Wailers were topping the charts in Jamaica, but that was pretty much it. Outside of Jamaica, nobody really knew who they were. Now the story gets very interesting. So Bob and the Wailers sign a deal with CBS Records in 1972, and they go on a European tour supporting Johnny Nash. But while in London, the band asked their road manager to get them an introduction to Chris Blackwell to discuss royalty payments. Now, Blackwell had a label called Island Records. And Island Records had licensed a few of the Wailers' tunes. And unbeknownst to them, Jimmy Cliff, who had been on Chris's label and was the biggest reggae star at the time, had just left Island Records, and Blackwell was looking for a replacement. Now, in Marley, Blackwell recognized the elements needed to snare the rock audience. And according to Chris, I was dealing with rock music, which was really rebel music. I felt that would really be the way to break Jamaican music. But you needed someone who could be that image. When Bob walked in, he really was that image. I gotta tell you, Chris Blackwell, very cool dude, Island Records, very cool label. At any rate, the meeting resulted in an offer for a £4,000 advance to record an album, which of course they did. So the Wailers' first album for Island, Catch a Fire, was released worldwide in April 1973, and it was packaged like a rock record with a unique Zippo lighter that you unzip to get the record. It was very cool. Now, it didn't make Marley a star, but it did receive a positive critical reception, and it was followed later that year by the album Burnin', which included the song I Shot the Sheriff. Now, Eric Clapton was given the album by his guitarist George Terry in the hope that he would enjoy it. But Clapton was so impressed that he chose to record a cover of I Shot the Sheriff, which became his first U.S. hit since Layla. How about that, huh? Now, the Wailers disbanded in 1974, with each of the three main members pursuing solo careers. Now, despite the breakup, Marley continued recording as Bob Marley and the Wailers with a new backup band. And in 1975, Marley had his international breakthrough with his first hit outside Jamaica, No Woman, No Cry, from the Natty Dread album. And I'm sure you know that song. It's a great, great song. Okay, so Marley left Jamaica at the end of 76 after he was shot, but not seriously wounded, in an apparent politically motivated attack 2 days before he was to perform at a free concert to cool political tensions in Jamaica. And he was shot in his house. His wife Rita was actually seriously injured, but they both fully recovered. Now, in typical Marley fashion, he did the gig, and when asked why, responded, "The people who are trying to make this world worse aren't taking a day off. How can I?" Now, during his exile in London, Bob made what many saw is his finest album, Exodus. And if you're not familiar with it, check it out. That and Legend, which was released, it's a Legend's greatest hits album released 3 years after his death, are, for my money, Bob's best and very, very worthwhile to listen to. Now, 1977 was a fateful year for Bob in another way. Marley, who was an avid footballer, got injured while playing, and he had to see a doctor. Now, during the examination, the doctor noticed a troubling dark spot under the nail of one toe and recommended amputation, fearing it was a terrible cancer called malignant melanoma. Bob refused. Said religious reasons would not allow him to take off the toe, and instead, the nail and nail bed were removed, which proved to be insufficient. The disease spread. Oh, man. And on May 11th, 1981, it eventually killed Bob. It had spread all over his body. It spread to his brain, and that was it. All right. Now, 10 days later, he was given a state funeral in Jamaica. Bob Marley was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1994, and in December 1999, his 1977 album Exodus was named Album of the Century by Time magazine, and his song One Love was designated Song of the Millennium by the BBC. Since its release in 1984, Marley's Legend compilation has annually sold over 250,000 units per year. How about that? Bob Marley, man, a giant. And for those of you who like to indulge, of course, Bob was a Rastafarian, and marijuana was their sacrament. And now the Marley Foundation is going to come out with their own branded marijuana products. So if you're in one of those states where it's legal, go buy it and see what it's like. All right, so that's my story for today. Now I'm still running autographs for my book, Rock Doc. Go to my website, neilratnerrockdoc.com. On the left, buy the book. Fill out the form. I'll endorse it any way you like. Lots of good stories in there, lots of good pictures in there. And if and when you read the book and you feel so inclined, please go to Amazon and write me a review. An honest review, but a review. All right, so that's it for today. Let me play my little thing. All right, Bob Marley. So go do whatever in honor of Bob Marley today, if you know what I mean. Neil Ratner Rock Doc. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you on the weekend for another cool story. And remember, you can still get autographed copies of my book. Go to the website. All right, Neil Ratner Rock Doc out for now. Have a great day, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.